All right, so step up to the top of your mat. Open your feet up about hip distance apart. And then just bend your knees and stretch your arms forward. Just sit back. Notice what you feel. Where do you feel like creaky? You know? Maybe crunchy. That's it. See if you can pull the arms back just a little bit. Pull the belly to the spine a little. So far, so good. You guys look quite patient for as long as I've left you. Yeah, take another breath. And then very slowly come to standing. Press your arms down. Good. We're going to do that again. Inhale this time. Arms reach forward. Sit back just a little bit. And then hinge at the hips and take your body parallel to the floor. Really stick that booty out. Lower your gaze. Lengthen the back of your neck. Stretch through the side waist. Extend your arms like you mean it. Let's take one more breath right here. And then stay low, but sweep your arms toward the mat. And then take them behind you. Clasp your hands. And then let's straighten our legs and bow the head down low. That's it. And again, just opportunity here to pay attention to what you're feeling in your body. Do you feel stiff anywhere in particular? You're feeling strong this morning? Make sure your feet are about hip distance apart. You want to have a little space between your feet, not just between your knees. You'll have better balance that way. Your hamstrings won't be pulled quite as much. Let's take one more breath right here. And then go ahead, release your hands down. Let's bend our knees and roll up slowly. Tuck the chin. Make sure that head comes up last. Belly to the spine. Push through your feet. Good. Inhale. Arms reach. Take your feet together. Walk up to the top of the mat. And then bring your hands right to your heart. Let's pause right here for a second. And think about what brought you out to the park this morning. Or what made you roll your mat out in your house or wherever you are right now, tuning in from home. I believe that if we actually gave a little bit of thought to the why we do things, we would be a whole lot more clear in our lives about everything that we do. So before we step really fully into this practice, let's know why we're doing it. Give it some thought right here. Is it just your routine, so you get up every Saturday and this is what you do? Or could we maybe put a little fire, a little passion behind it? And I know with this many people, there's got to be a lot of reasons why we come out. And so I want you to get really clear for yourself. So there's real purpose behind your movements. Let's take a really big deep breath and fill the heart space up. Press gently into the hands so you feel it even more. And then exhale it out with an ah. All right, let's start to move. Inhale, arms reach. And exhale, fold. Fold in like you mean it. You can grab your ankles, drop the head low. Come halfway up. Inhale as if you were serving your heart forward. And then bend your knees so you can put your hands down. Step back to plank pose and hold right there. That's it. So even in the moments of challenge, can you hold on to that intention, that purpose? I promise you that when you get to the moments today that are the most challenging, those are going to be the moments you need to remember your intention even more. So you stay clear about why you would be here doing this. Why would you want to be in a push-up position for this long? There is a reason. Now take one more breath. Lift your hips a little bit higher and then start to move back into downward facing dog. There should be something about that first down dog that makes you feel familiar, home, balanced, kind of in love with your body. And if you're feeling anything other than that, modify your pose. We are meant to be in deeper relationship with our body, and so I want you to treat yourself kindly, compassionately, sensitively. Let's push back just a little, and then come forward into that plank pose again. When you're ready, I want you to move a little bit forward and down. Take it all the way to the belly. Inhale into cobra pose. Cobra's a little back bend. It's my favorite. It's tiny and mighty, right? It doesn't have to be a big back bend to make you feel strong. Press the tops of your feet down. Make your legs really long behind you. We call it cobra because it's just like the snake. Long behind you, but broad at the hood in the front. Yes, take one more breath right there. Fill up. And then exhale, release, tuck your toes, and go right back to that downward facing dog. That's it. I think one of my favorite things about coming out to the park on Saturdays is this feeling of community. I get here a few minutes early and I sit there in my car and I watch you all come up and come in and greet each other. And then I get the privilege of stepping into the middle of this amazing feeling. Let's take a breath, push back just a little bit. And then when you're ready, exhale, look forward. Let's walk our feet to the top of the mat. Come halfway up, inhale, and then fold deeply, exhale. Flat back this time. Lift your head and your chest and start rising up. Reach your arms high to the sky, and then draw them right hands to the heart. That's it. Take a moment and just remember. So this is the moment where we check in, not where we check out. This is not the moment where I want you to start to fix your outfit or your hair or look around at the traffic. Like, this is the moment of discipline where I want you to tune right back into why you're here. All it takes is a breath or two, and then we're ready to move again. On that inhale, let's reach the arms up, and then exhale, fold in. Try to fold deeply, and then inhale, lengthen. Let's take the right leg and step it back. Stay on your toes, please. And then keep that right hand grounded and give me a beautiful twist open to the left side. Twist in a way that makes you feel good, like a morning stretch. See if you can keep your chest broad. Maybe draw the head back a little bit so you feel a little longer in your spine. Give me one more breath. And then your eyes go down, your hand goes down. We're going to shift a little weight forward, and I want you to lift your right leg in the air and then step it forward to meet your left. Good. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale and fold. Feet are together. Bend your knees, chair pose. You guys look so good. So the legs are already warmed up for this from that first little ditty that we did when we first stepped on the mat. So your legs should feel pretty agreeable right here. Try not to squeeze the knees together. Feel the independence of the legs. And then press through your feet and come on up to standing. You could even stretch back if it feels good. And then hands to your heart. Take a breath and remember. On your next inhale, arms reach. And then exhale, fold in. We're going to lift halfway. Inhale. Left leg is going to take that same lunge back. Left hand stays grounded, and we twist to the right. Be good to yourself. Imagine if you could take each movement and use it as an expression of that intention. So whatever it is that brought you out here, whatever it is that you love about your yoga, maybe you just challenge yourself to see if you can make it to the end of the practice, right? We all come for different reasons. Let's take one more breath. Twist a little on that exhale. Eyes go down, hands go down. Let's shift a little weight forward so that that left leg can lift, and then step it together, top of the mat. Good. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and fold. Bend your knees. Chair pose. Utkatasana. Really good solid footprints. See if you can draw the ribs in just a little bit. Sometimes we have a tendency to stick out the booty and stick out the ribs. And I want you to try to streamline just a little bit so you feel a little more core work. Don't get jammed up in there and squeeze too much, but just feel this sense of integration. And then come on up to standing. Stretch back if it feels good, and then bring your hands to your heart. One more time, we just breathe and remember. Feel your feet on the ground. Press into your hands, open your heart space. On your next inhale, arms reach. If you would, hook your thumbs together and spread your fingers wide. See if you can feel all of that energy going up and out. And then to the same degree, press down through both of your feet. And then give me a little stretch to the right side. Stay long on both sides of your waist. Oh yeah, I like what I see. So now pay attention to the feet, the legs, and the hips, and try to keep them really stable. And just from the ribs up, I want you to bring your right shoulder forward and your left shoulder back. Turn your heart up to the sky, maybe even look up at that beautiful sky. Let's take one breath there with a beautiful twist up top. And then make sure you turn and face forward before you come back to center. Good. Go to the other side. Just play it out. Make sure it feels good. Your hips are square. The hips are facing forward. Right? We're just stretching over to the left. And then from there, left shoulder forward, right shoulder back. It's just the upper body. Just turn from the ribs up. Try to keep the base stable. I don't want to have any twerk in the lower back. I want you to feel your heart shine upward. That's it. And make sure that you turn forward before you return to center. Let's release our arms go. Let it go. Nice work. Inhale, arms reach. And exhale, fold. Fold in deep. Let's lift and lengthen on the inhale. Step back to plank and lower. Bend your elbows and come a little bit forward and down. Inhale into cobra. And then exhale back to down dog. So it's like we're starting to get into a rhythm with the breath. We're starting to flow. And it doesn't really matter what it looks like on the outside. As long as you are breathing, as long as you are moving, you are doing your practice. Remember why you're here. And as long as you are staying true to that intention and you get in a little bit of movement and a little bit of breath, you're going to walk out feeling better than when you came in. Let's push back just a little. And then look at our hands. Go ahead, jump, step, or walk to the top of your mat. Come halfway up on that in-breath. Fold deeply as you exhale. Bend your knees, chair pose. Bring your hands to your heart. Try to sit a little lower. And then twist to the right. Left elbow is going to hook outside the knee. Pay attention to how you're distributing your weight in your feet. We like all 10 toes down. Feel a little hug on the outer hips and see if you can get that action to move from the waistline. Maybe you can broaden the chest a little and even draw the head back slightly. That's it. One last breath. No drama here. When you're ready, forward fold and let it go. I feel like the holidays bring enough drama into our lives. We don't need drama on the mat. So if at any moment you find yourself in a little story, if you find it getting dramatic, laugh. Have a sense of humor. And then come back to why you're here. Let's bend our knees, take chair pose. Hands are going to come back to the heart center. And then we twist to the other side. Right elbow outside left knee. Keep the weight even on your feet. Maybe send your hips back a little bit. We love that feeling of the chest feeling wide. And so we're just trying to make a little bit of room in the body so that everything flows a little bit better. Draw the head back slightly. Take one last breath, and then just simply let it go. Head down, release your arms. Let's all take a deep breath in. Open mouth, ah it out. Oh yeah, bend your knees, chair pose. Arms are reaching. Now I'm gonna have you take your hands to your heart and then take the pose up on your toes. Lift those heels. Yeah, things just got a little more serious, right? All of a sudden, we're not so stable. We've got 10 little toes working hard for us right now. Let's see if we can bend our knees a little deeper and take it down into a little toe squat. Nice work. Now the reason we're here is because I want to introduce you to something called Mula Bandha. And it's a lift of the pelvic floor. So right now, most of us are just sitting on our heels. But what if I asked you to lift your hips off your heels about an inch, maybe 2? You'd have to pull up from the pelvic floor and push down into your feet. Those are 2 actions of rooting. Do you feel that? Then go ahead and sit back down. Notice how it all just lets go. Right? So press into your hands. And one more time, let's try. Lift a little bit. Now we're going to keep lifting from there. Start to let the arms come up. Press your heels flat. And come into chair pose. Slowly come to standing. You guys did a great job there. Hands to your heart. Just getting a little more heat. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Nice work. Inhale, lengthen. Let's go to plank pose and hold it. We're going to take it into Vashisthasana, the side plank. So roll onto your right side so you're facing left. And don't panic because we're not going to stay long. I just want you to roll to that side, take one big breath, stretch up to the sky, and then return to plank. We're just working our way through our shoulders. Left side. Roll it to the left, reach up with your right arm to the sky, breathe in, and then return to plank. Go ahead, lower down, a little forward and down. Inhale into cobra. Exhale back into downward facing dog. So the teacher in me really wants to put a little pause on something that I'm seeing because I think it could be a really valuable teaching moment. So I'm going to have you all come forward into plank again and then lay it down onto your belly. We're doing all kinds of weird things in Cobra, so I just want to clarify so that nobody hurts themselves. Let's pull the hands back so your fingertips are under your shoulders. Your palms are flat. Good. Now can you feel your elbows draw together and your shoulders lift away from the mat? So I want you to push into the heel of the hand and lift the heads of the arm bones. Squeeze those elbows in. Squeeze those elbows in. I see elbows out. I want elbows in. Yes. Yes. Okay, so we're already in the beginning stages of the cobra. Just by lifting the shoulder heads and pulling the elbows in and pressing into those hands gently. Now, extend your legs back a little longer and press into the top of your feet so your knees lift a little bit off the mat. You feel those long legs? It's not butt cheek squeezing. It's not like feet floating up in the air behind you. It's legs lengthening out and down. You guys feel that? There's a really strong feeling in this pose. Now, on your inhale, start to lift a little bit. Don't let your hips come off the mat. Maybe the belly button comes off the mat, but not much more than that. Can you feel that? Small and mighty, right? The back of your body is super strong, and we need those muscles in the back, along the spine, to be really strong. And so if we're doing anything other than this, we're actually missing the point of the pose and exploiting our strength or our flexibility. So take a breath here, feel it. And then exhale, release it, let it go. Good. Push back to child's pose, just in case there was any tension there. We held for a long time. So just a moment to counter pose, to stretch and widen the lower back. And then we move right into downward facing dog. That's it. Now, and we're going to do that in a flow. We're going to come forward into plank, take a breath. As you exhale, lower to your belly. For one inhale only, show me that cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Push back. Use your core. Good. I like it. Take one breath here. And then lift your right leg up behind you. Just stretch it up till it feels really, really good. And then come forward into plank and draw that right knee to the right tricep or elbow and look forward. That's it. So I want you to feel a little bit of squeezing at the crease of the hip, like you're really trying to get your knee to your arm. And then take it back, one leg down dog. Nicely done. Now take that right foot and step it through to your hands. Arms rise up for high crescent lunge. Nicely done. Now, keep the belly drawn into the spine. Feel how powerful you are in the back leg. Lift that back knee a little higher, and then fold your body halfway and keep reaching forward. Ah, I like it. The back leg is super strong. You are reaching back and reaching forward to an equal degree. Now stay right where you are, but sweep your hands down toward the floor and clasp them now behind your back. That's it. See if you can challenge yourself and turn your gaze to your left toes. That's the one on the floor behind you. Yes, bow your head and take the arms away from your back. So good, you guys. On the inhale, start to look up. Push down to rise up. As you come all the way up, release your hands, stretch high over your head, and then exhale, flow it out. Hands down, step back, and lower. Inhale into your cobra, and then exhale back to downward facing dog. Good. Left leg is going to go up in the air behind you. Stretch it up this first one just so it feels good. You know, just like stretch it up there, spread your toes. And then plank pose, knee to elbow. Take that gaze forward. This is one of those moments where it's really great to remember why you come out here. Yeah, there is a purpose, and bring it right now in this moment. And then one leg down dog, take it back. Good. Enjoy one deep breath in, and then step that left foot forward to your hands. Arms sweep up over the head. Very good. And so before we start to fold forward, I want you to get serious about your connection to the work in the back leg. See if you can lift the right knee a little bit, straighten that back leg out, and then start folding halfway. You're reaching forward. The belly is drawn to the spine. Yes, we're strong. We're long. Yes. I like what I see. The arms are going to sweep down and then come behind you, clasp them together, and then start looking down and back toward that right foot. As you drop your head humbly, you can stretch your arms away from your back. And again, if you lose your balance, have a sense of humor. There isn't a pose in the world that determines who you are as a human. Let's start to look up first, and as the gaze comes up, your chest comes up, and then you release your arms, and your arms come up. Take a breath, and then as you exhale, flow it out. Hands down, step back, and lower. Inhale into cobra. Exhale, down dog. Breath is steady. All right, now, I want you to take a breath and push back, and then take that right foot and step it forward. Arms sweep up for that high crescent lunge. And then we're going to take that weight forward and lift the left leg behind us and come into warrior three. Yep, belly to the spine. You could actually bring your hands to your heart if it feels more connected, more collaborative, more centered. Otherwise, you could stretch those arms forward and reach that leg back, and you can feel the push and the pull. Let's take one more breath here, and then just dip your head a little lower and lift that left leg a little higher. Hands are still off the floor. Dip your head a little low, lift your leg up a little higher behind you, and then on your next inhale, come to standing, bring your feet together. Ooh, what a journey that is. Inhale, arms reach. I love the smiles. Exhale and fold. Let's keep moving. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step back and lower. That's it. Energy's coming up a little bit. Heat must be coming up a little bit. Inhale for cobra, and then exhale back into downward facing. That's it. Take a breath here. Here's your second try. Left foot steps up for high crescent lunge. I love that in yoga we get a do-over. Arms sweep up. Here's your high crescent lunge. That's it. We're going to start to lean that weight forward. This time, push off of the right foot and come into warrior three. Left side. Uh-huh. That's it. Arms could be reaching forward, or you could draw your hands to your heart. My best advice for you is keep your eyes steady. Find one thing that you can look at. Keep that gaze steady. Keep your breath. Keep remembering why you're here. And now here comes that challenge. Head a little lower, right leg a little higher. Uh-huh. Oh, I like what I see. And then with some grace, bring those feet together. Come to standing. Nice work. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, you guys like a challenge. Exhale, fold. Lift and lengthen on your in-breath. Good. Step back and lower as you exhale all your air. Inhale into cobra, just like we learned. Exhale into downward facing dog. Very good. This time let's walk our hands to the back of the mat. So with a little grace, pick those hands up one at a time and start walking them back to your feet. You can open your feet a little wider, even turn the toes out, and give me another squat toward the back of the mat, but this one is wide. And I'm going to test you again right here. I want you to feel what it feels like to push into your feet and lift the pelvis. Just lift up from the base of the body. Like you can hold yourself. It's actually quite amazing. That's it. And then see what happens when you let it go. And you just sit right down in there. Do it again. Lift yourself up just a little. You guys are awesome. And then sit back down. Now I want you to find the relationship between your arms and your legs here. So the elbows should push out on the knees just a touch, but I also want you to feel your knees squeezing in just a little. And then while that's going on, that push-pull, can you also lift your pelvis? You guys are awesome. Some of you are smiling because you know what's happening. Go ahead, release it down. Let's start to reach our arms forward. And so what I want you to do is literally try to move your shoulders towards your knees. So you get down in there a little lower. That puts the knees higher on the arms. And then I want you to take both of your arms and stretch them out to the side so you feel the push and the pull of the knees and the arms. And then start to lean your head a little forward and lift your bottom up behind you. That's it. We are building something beautiful right here. Yeah, the hips just lift an inch or two, just like we've been doing. See if you feel like you can hold yourself. And then let your hips back down. Bring your hands to prayer. And we're going to come into Bakasana. So we're going to fly. You're going to take your arms straight in front of you with your hands at shoulder distance apart. You're going to feel that little push-pull with the elbows and the knees. And then shift a little weight forward. Head a little forward. Start lifting a couple of inches in the pelvis, and then see if you can lift your feet off the floor. Touch those toes together. Complete the circle of energy there. You guys are awesome. Make sure you're looking forward. You don't have to look at your feet to make them lift. And then release back into your feet and come into a forward fold. That's it. Let your head go. We had much success there. I kind of like it. Let's slowly come up halfway. Put the hands on the hips, empty out your lungs, and then on your next inhale, come on up. Nice work. Inhale, arms reach, and exhale, fold. Lift and lengthen on your in-breath. Let's walk the hands forward into plank pose. Take a nice deep breath in, and then exhale, slowly lower down. Inhale into cobra, and then exhale into downward facing dog. Let's come up high on our toes, like lift the heels really high, and then bend your knees. Lift your hips a little higher, and see if you can now bend your elbows and put your forearms down. Oh, I like it. Can you look at your fingers and just slowly start to make sure that your shoulders are over your elbows, and then start walking your feet back into a half plank. So you might go off the mat. The feet might actually go into the grass or onto the cement. It's okay. Yep. Yes. Do you remember why you're here? Now we're going to integrate a little bit. Draw your hands toward each other so the collarbones widen. And then imagine you could pull your toes toward your elbows. Yes, I just saw that, Gerard. Everything just pulled together. Let's take 2 more breaths here. You can do anything for 2 breaths. There's 1 breath left. And then very slowly start to walk your feet in, lift your hips. You'll come back to that dolphin pose. Yep. Soften your knees. And then when you're ready, start to press your arms straight again. Downward facing dog. Oh, I like it. Yes, a little woo from the crowd. Inhale, push back. Exhale, let's look forward and walk our feet right up to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and fold. Bend your knees, chair pose. Take chair pose on your toes. Stay high on your toes. Bring your hands to your heart. Slowly lower down. Have a seat on the heels. And then remember to lift that pelvic floor one more time. Chair pose. Come up halfway. Find it. Hover there. Push the feet flat. And then come to standing all the way up. Stretch back if it feels good. And then hands right to your heart so you remember. Good. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale and fold. Lift and lengthen on your inhale. Step back and lower on the exhale. Inhale for cobra. Exhale, down dog. All right. Let's just take 1 breath in down dog, and then everyone can feel free to drop to their knees. Sit back in child's pose for a moment. The arms are stretching forward. I want you to stay active in the shoulders. Let's open the knees a little bit wider and start to melt the heart between the knees. And as you're extending and reaching forward, could you also lift your elbows a little, lift your wrists, and come up only onto the fingertips? Yeah, that looks really good. The forehead is down. And just continue to melt your heart in just a little bit more. Let's release and soften the wrists, the elbows. And then I want you to keep your forearms down. Keep your elbows down, but just look at your hands. And then shift your weight forward so that your shoulders are over your elbows, kind of like when we were in that half plank, but you're on your knees, right? You see that? You feel that? Now, let's start bringing the elbows back a little bit more. Bring the elbows back toward the knees, and then tuck your toes and lift the knees off the mat. Yeah. Can you continue to walk the elbows back until you can put your knees on your triceps? Stay on your forearms. Stay on your forearms. Yep. Stay on those forearms. It's a little baby bakasana. Go ahead, look forward. See if you can shift enough weight forward. Lift the pelvic floor and take those feet up. Nice, Joe. It's a fun one. Yeah. It's like this little compact, safe little bird. Yeah. So good, you guys. Core work. Keep it sweet and keep it little. And then go ahead, release your toes back down. That's it. Nicely done. We're going to come into a little squat at the back of the mat. So here we are with our toes on the floor. Tuck those toes under and come back into your squat. Let's see if we can find our balance. Hands at the heart. Now I'm going to ask you to lift your knees a little higher. It's a little more challenging, but the hip flexors are strong, and they'll help stabilize you. So draw the thighs toward the belly, and then take your right elbow outside your left knee. Yep. Right elbow outside your left knee. See how that twist feels. Right elbow outside left knee. So we're twisting to the left side. Now I want you to put your left hand on the outside of your left leg. And then push it toward the midline just a little bit so you can slide a little deeper. Get more of your tricep on that arm. And then put your hands in prayer and play with the twist from there. If that's working for you, I'm going to give you an opportunity to stay in that beautiful twist or to try a side crow. That would mean both hands go to the left side. Make sure your fingers are pointing to the left, so you're going sideways. Yes. And then we lean our weight into our hands. We lift a little from the pelvic floor, and if you're brave enough, you pick your feet up off the floor. And if not, you watch your neighbors do it, and you notice how playful that is. Like, and how exhilarated they are when they come out, right? There's something really sweet. Just be careful that you don't extend your legs and kick your neighbor in the head. That's all. Just be aware of your surroundings. And then we're still in that toe squat, but we're going to face forward. Yep, nice work. Release your hands down. Release your knees slowly. Knees always like to come out slowly. Come into Uttanasana, forward fold. This is one of those moments as you bow your head humbly that I want you to remember why you came here. I don't think anyone woke up this morning and said, I am going to the park because today is the day I am going to master that side crow. Like, I don't even think that was in your thinking at all. So if you got too attached to what just happened there and you lost sight of your intention, this is your moment to check it. Check in. Let's see if we can just play with it on the other side. Go ahead, take your nice deep squat, bend your knees, lift your heels, hands at your heart, find your balance. Now the twist is going to the other side, left elbow outside the right knee. And at first approach, we get a nice twist, but there's potential for a little deeper twist, and it's that deep twist that actually makes the other arm balance possible. So right hand can go on the outside of the right leg, and you can kind of push your leg in toward the midline so you can get a little bit deeper. You can slide that left arm a little bit more through onto the tricep or onto the shoulder. And then you can just work on the twist there. The twist is amazing. Or you can play with the arm balance. You go in sideways. Look out in front of you. As you get your lift in your pelvic floor, you may or may not be able to get your feet off the floor, but it's like an old-fashioned scale. If you're willing to let your head go a little more in one direction, your feet are more likely to lift behind you. That's it. Play. Play or observe and enjoy. That's it. And then we come back to that squat. We all take forward fold, which right there, right now, in this moment, we just leveled the playing field because everybody can bend over. Almost everybody, right? But somehow we feel the same here. There's something humble about bowing that head. And so again, I ask you to remember. Take one more breath right where you are. And then on the next inhalation, come on up. Lift your head, lift your chest. Start to reach those arms all the way up to the sky. And then hands to your heart. Last vinyasa, and then we go to the floor. Inhale, arms reach. And then exhale, fold. Come up halfway. Inhale. Step back and lower. Feel the integrity of your plank pose. Lower down slowly. And then inhale into cobra. Small and mighty. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Enjoy one good breath here. Just tap into all of the beautiful balance in your body. And then when you are ready, you're going to come to seated. So jump, step, or walk right through, sitting on your bottom with your legs in front of you. I'd like you to bend your knees, please, and put your feet flat. And then just see what it feels like to lift your feet off the floor. All of a sudden, there's that same kind of feeling of lifting the pelvic floor and the hip flexors kind of strong. So touch your toes together if you would, and then extend your arms out like you're pushing into the floor. That's it. And then I want you to take your arms up above your knees And then see how high you could pull your knees up on your arms. Yep. Just keep sliding those knees toward the armpits. Toes are touching, knees are sliding toward the armpits. Make sure they're touching. Arms are touching knees. The arms push down, the knees push up. There's this push-pull thing going on. You guys feel that? So anyone who didn't fly earlier, you're flying now. This is crow. These are the muscle actions that we need to awaken in the body. Whether we're afraid to face plant or not, this is evidence right here that you are capable. Yeah, this is success right here. And then go ahead and put it down. I like it. Go ahead, lay yourself down onto your back. So since we did it sideways, and we did it facing up, we did it sitting forward, we did it facing down, now we're going to do it facing up. Go ahead and draw your knees to your belly. Touch your toes together and extend your arms up to the sky. Flex your wrists like you're pushing the sky away from you, and then let your knees meet your triceps. That means you might have to bring the arms to the knees a little and bring the knees to the arms a little. There's your core, right? And then you're pushing away through those wrists, and you're lifting the pelvic floor. Can you get your tailbone off the floor? Yes. Do you feel that? Yeah, no one ever said the pose was easy, but what we're trying to do is awaken all of those muscles that make it possible. That's it. Get that tailbone off the floor. So it's not just the balance, right? There's a lot of things happening. Take one more breath here. Feel it. Let the impression be made. And then relax and let it go. Put your feet down on the ground. Everyone did crow today. We did it sideways and facing up and facing down and sitting up. Let the impression be made in your body. Go ahead and put your feet on the mat. Knees are bent. I want your feet at hip distance apart, and then press your arms down by your sides. And we're going to come into bridge pose. I want you to open those hip flexors now. Press through the feet, lift the chest, lift the hips. Make sure you're breathing. Let's take one more breath and just press down a little bit to rise up. And then slowly come on down. Upper back, middle back, lower back. Pause. Again, we come into bridge pose. Maybe you go a little higher this time. Press down to rise up. Feel the whole arm pressing. If you press your shoulders, your chest will rise. If you press your feet, your hips will rise. Yep. Don't sell yourself short here. Take one more breath. And then bring it down. Upper back, middle back, lower back. Third time's a charm. This time we come up and I want you to clasp your hands under you. I want you to actually roll the upper arm bone under you. A little stretch for the shoulders. Pressing down to rise up. Use the whole foot. Breath is steady. Take one more inhale. And then open those arms and start to come down. Upper back, middle back, lower back. Keep your feet on the mat, but just take the feet a little wider. That's it. I want both knees to tip over to the right side. So keep your feet at the edges of the mat and just kind of let them tip to one side. Take a really big inhale here and an open mouth. See if you can soften a little more. And then again, keeping those feet wide at the edges of the mat. Bring your knees back up to center. So the feet don't move through this whole sequence. The feet are wide at the edges of the mat. Feet are wide, yep. Knees go left. That's so good. Let the legs get a little heavy. Give me that big inhale. Open mouth, it out. So some of the effortfulness of this practice, I'm asking you to let it go. Enjoy one more breath here. And then slowly those knees come back to the center. Let's put the soles of the feet together and let the knees drop open. And if you would, take both arms up over your head. Let them rest on the floor.
Wind calmly blows, sight becomes love, colors unfold as we're coming home. 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 As we're coming home.
Nice and easy. Start to bring those knees back up to center. Take the arms out like a T. They're out wide like wings. And as those knees are up in the center, I want you to lift your feet from the floor and draw the knees toward the chest. And then both knees are going to go to the right. It'll feel a little different. This is more of a spinal twist than a hip release. But I still want you to do it soft and take it easy.
As we're coming home. As we're coming home. As we're coming home.
As you settle into your mat and the tension leaves your body, I want you to remember why you're here.
Coming home. Walk me home.
Let's go ahead and bring the knees back to center.
Throw me home.
And then over to the left side.
Throw you home.
Spinal twist.
Throw you home. Then you throw me home.
Try to relax here. Relax your feet, relax your toes.
You walk me home.
Close your eyes.
Throw you home. And I'll throw you home.
What can you melt away?
And I'll stay home.
And take your time coming back to the center. Knees to center, head to center. Let's pull just the right leg into the belly and give it a squeeze. Keep it really simple. As you squeeze that right leg, just stretch the left one down the mat. Feel a little push and a little pull as if your intention was to create balance. Feel your kidneys and your lower back kind of press down and out. And then go ahead and switch sides. A little push and a little pull. And go ahead and release that left leg. Both legs are straight down the mat. And I want you to start to flex your feet. So like push your legs down and push your feet out. And then start to lift your chin to your chest and look at your feet. And see if you can take your hands and place them on your thighs. Now, keep tucking that chin and keep engaging your core and see if you can reach your fingers towards your knees. Keep reaching your toes toward your fingers. Yep, everything's working here. I want to see fingers reaching, toes reaching, core engaged. But the only thing that's wrong right here is your facial expression. Yeah, like this isn't that bad that it should look like that. Yeah, that's much better. Think about kidneys pressing down. Like you're strong here. This is your core. Take another breath. This is stiff corpse pose. That's what we call this, right? And then we're going to let it go into Shavasana. You are going to exhale and let it all go. Turn your palms to face up. Any last bit of tension, we just tried to squeeze it and push it out to the surface so you could really let it roll off you. Let's close our eyes. Let's soften around the eyes. Even more important, soften your lips. Maybe separate the lips so the jaw, the upper jaw and lower jaw, leave each other alone for a moment. And that means your airway is open and your breath can flow so easily and free that you don't have to control it. You can just observe it. The magic of your yoga happens in the stillness. And so treat these few moments as a privilege. I want you to take a moment right here and just remain still, but open your eyes just a little bit so you can sort of take in with just your peripheral vision, like all that's around you. Take in this moment for everything that it has to offer. Look at that beautiful sky, feel the energy of your friends surrounding you, and then bear witness to yourself in the stillness. You can start to awaken. I want you to awaken with these words in your consciousness. I am love. You know when that annoying song gets stuck in your brain and you sing it all day long? Yeah, that's what I'm wishing upon you right now. You don't even have to know the tune, but all day long I want you like singing in your head, I am love. Could be your new mantra. So take your time, begin to awaken your body. When you're ready, you will make your way to a seated position. And so we sit up tall with our hearts high. And one last time, if you would, just bring your hands together at your heart. Bring them as if the touching of the palms could bring you right back to that beginning of the practice where we talked